The first time I ever installed a wiring harness in a Gibson ES 335, I was really stressed beforehand. I put it off for days. The idea of trying to get the wiring harness through the F-hole and then work all the components into the correct locations with my big hands seemed like a potentially frustrating job, if not impossible. When I actually did the installation, I was really surprised how frustration-free it really was with good planning and the right tools. Recently, I kept seeing double F-hole Telecaster bodies coming up on eBay for sale. There are no holes drilled in the top of the body for controls, and there's no access panel on the back for you to install the pots and capacitors. Link to the store in the description. I googled to see what a finished guitar looked like and came to a Fender Custom Shop double F-hole Esquire, built by no other than John Page. John Page led the Fender Research and Development organization and is the founding master builder of the Fender Custom Shop. About 30 years ago, he built what some call the Telecaster, which is a very beautiful Esquire guitar that has two F-holes, a single pickup located in the bridge, one volume and one tone control. It is said that he was inspired to build a Telecaster-shaped guitar that was very resonant even when it wasn't plugged in. He wanted to be able to write music and play guitar without being plugged into an amplifier all the time. A link to the article about him and his Telecaster in the description for this video. Now, I was encouraged to build a dual F-hole Telecaster. Looking at pictures of John, he was not a little guy. If he could get his fingers in there, so could I. I went ahead and ordered the body off of eBay. The body that showed up had two F-holes, but was not the body that I had ordered. The body that showed up has a very unusual finish called the chameleon finish. Depending on what angle you look at the body of the guitar, you'll see the color of the guitar change from green to brown to purple. It's weirdly cool, so I decided to keep it. I plan on making this guitar body into a Telecaster with two traditional single coil pickups. I would not have a slider three-way pickup selector switch like a normal Telecaster, but instead would have a three-way toggle more like a Gibson. I used tape to measure and line up my three holes I would need to drill for the selector switch, tone control, and volume control into the face of the guitar. I used a straight edge and leaned out the lines with each of the three holes being about 1.5 inches distance between each. The body depth of this Telecaster body is a lot shallower than a Gibson 335. This makes it a challenge and more difficult to 1. Insert the wiring into the guitar, 2. Move the wiring around inside of the guitar, and 3. Stand the long stem pots up so they'll go through the holes. I've found that one of the most important tools you can have on your bench are various lengths of surgical forceps. I have about half a dozen of them hanging on the wall behind my bench. In this project, forceps are perfect for holding onto a pot and guiding it into a spot so it can be pulled up through the F-hole. Find a link in the description of this video to Amazon where you can look and buy your own forceps. I broke the capacitor in my circuit while trying to position the tone control, and I needed to perform surgery and replace it. I broke the bridge hot lead off of the three-way switch and ended up having to pull the switch back out and resolder the lead back on. My big fingers were not my friends in this job. It was so difficult trying to get my fingers in and out of the guitar body. The pickups I used are my trusty Fender Tex-Mex pickups. For the price, they are hard to beat at $79 per set. Link in the description. The guitar is as John Page intended and very acoustic and resonant. Kind of like a Fender Acoustasonic guitar and how you can play it without being plugged in, but still hear it. Not as loud as an acoustic, but much more audible than a typical solid body electric version of a Telecaster. I like the looks and the sound of the guitar. Will I ever build one again? Well, if I ever think I need to be punished for some misdeed I have committed, I'll order another one of these bodies and go to work assembling it. All joking aside, if I did build another one of these, I'd look for smaller yet quality versions of pots and the three-way switch. This guitar body is not really made for full-size components. Something to consider if you try this yourself.